Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Mina. Welcome to my channel, Mina Reads, and today is the start of a new reading vlog. So it's Monday the 24th and currently I'm about 70% through the audiobook for Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Ames, and I'm completely obsessed with this story. So this story is about this mercenary band called Saga, and in the world that this book is set in, mercenary bands are kind of like rock stars and they like go on tour and they fight monsters. And this mercenary band, they're old, they're washed up, they've broken up a few years ago, and they finally decide to get the gang back together to rescue one of the band members, Gabe's daughter. So Gabe's daughter is in trouble, she's stuck somewhere, they have to go save her and going on this quest. And I'm obsessed with the concept. It's so fun and energetic and I just love it. It's really funny, it's really lighthearted, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just like such a breath of fresh air, especially coming off of reading the Dragon Republic, which I loved. Dragon Republic is amazing, but it's really heavy thematically, and so I like the fact that this book is just kind of like very easygoing, so entertaining and funny. And I also really like this one character. His name is Moog. He's so fucking hilarious and I'm obsessed with him. He is my eccentric grandfather. I have adopted him into my family because I love him that much. He's definitely my favorite character. But Clay, the narrator, is also amazing, and his inner monologue is like really funny, and I love his insights into like the world and everything is fascinating. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book so far, and that's it. That's what I have going on, and so we'll see. I'll update you when there's more stuff to say about the things. Hi friends, so I just finished Kings of the Wyld. I really liked it. It was really enjoyable and entertaining. Like I mentioned in my previous clip, it was really good. I really liked it a lot, and I loved all the characters. This is like a really huge cast of characters, honestly, and I appreciated all of them. They were really great, and I feel like this book has some really awesome like friendship dynamics and also some romantic dynamics, which are kind of on the side, but like they meant a lot to me. For example, Clay, our main character, he has like just this passion for his family, his wife and his daughter, and I love the way like he thinks about them and he talks about his relationship with them and how they like enrich his life. Even while he's off on this like major quest and journey, he's still thinking about like how much he loves his family. He can't wait to be back with them and stuff like that. I just thought that that was like really sweet, and it showed how much of like a kind and caring person Clay was, also while being like this super badass warrior person. And I loved that. I loved the found family dynamics between this friend group, the band Saga. They all have these really interesting interpersonal relationships with each other. One of my favorites has to be like Moog and Matrick. Their relationship together, just like, I love them. They're so good. They're so funny and cute together in all their interactions. I really like Moog. I mentioned that he is my gay wizard grandpa. I love him so much. He's so just plain fascinating. And I appreciated a lot like the fact that he was a gay man and he's just in this fantasy series. Such a breath of fresh air, because I feel like a lot of times in fantasy series authors feel the need to incorporate like really homophobic language to be historically accurate, despite the fact that it's a fantasy series. So I really appreciate what this author did and like his sexuality and everything. And beyond that, I just thought that it was cool. There were so many magical creatures and it just was a fun adventure quest story. It really built up a world that I'm excited to experience. And there is another book in this series called The Bloody Rose, which follows Gabe's daughter Rose, who they go to save in this book. So I'm really excited to read her book soon-ish, hopefully. Oh my god, can I tell you guys about like one of my favorite scenes in the book? So it's like right before they're going into like this huge battle, and they're all like, they have like this "I love you man" kind of scene, and it's just so funny and it's so cute, and I just loved it so much. Like the found family vibes really got me. And can I also say that Matrick, he seems exactly like Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones, The Song of Ice and Fire. Like he's this king that's a drunk and cuckold king, like that's what they call him in this chapter where they introduce him, and I just feel like that's Robert Baratheon to a T. He used to be a badass warrior. He kind of just like lets himself go and gets lazy. He's being cheated on, and then like he wants to go back and get into the action again. I feel like he was like Robert Baratheon's character. So I wonder if the author like that was an intentional reference or not, but I think it was an intentional reference. So anyway, yeah, that's all the stuff. This clip is really long-winded, and I'm sorry. I want to mention one more thing about this book, though. There are like a lot of fat jokes, so I think that like if that's going to make you uncomfortable, you should definitely know that going in. There's like a lot of fat jokes, and they're kind of annoying. So, hi friends, it's Wednesday, and I read 2 books today. Well, not books, they're novellas. Basically, I was on Amazon last night around like midnight, and I was looking at these like historical romances, because I'm trying to get into historical romance. I stumbled upon this author named Nicola Davidson, and I read, it's called My Lady's Lover. And that book is a graphic historical romance, and it's about these 2 ladies, Beatrice and Amelia. And Amelia is like the lady of a house, and Beatrice is like her companion, I think that's what they call it. And Beatrice basically does stuff kind of like her maid. And basically Beatrice has been in love with her for all this time, and it's about them like coming together or whatever. But the series that this is a part of is called the Surrey Sexual Freedom Society. But this series is so good. Like, I read the first one, My Lady's Lover, and it was awesome. I gave that 4 stars. It was really good. I wish it was longer. I feel like if it was longer, it would have been like amazing, 5 stars, knock it out the park, but it was still good. I read this other one that's in this series, and it's called My Lady, My Lord, and the Gentleman. And it's about this guy. His name is Clayton. He's an artist, and so he's commissioned to paint this married couple. Well, really just to paint the wife, and he does like erotic portraits. So he's hired to paint her portrait, and they end up in like this polyamorous triad, and it's just everything that I ever wanted, and I love it. I didn't even know that like historical romance could be so sexy. I feel like historical romance always feels super like sanitized and very like closed door, and I hate closed door romance. It's just me. This is not what I want when I'm reading a romance. So I love that these books were like super sexy and erotic and just out there, you know. I just appreciate it. I loved it. I definitely recommend it. So recommend me some historical romances that are like a little bit sexy. I would say that these veer more on like the erotica lane than they do romance, but however, I really like them a lot. So recommend me some sexy historical romance in the comments, pretty please. I'm begging. Full length if you can. I would appreciate it. So yeah. Hey y'all, it's Thursday, and today has really not been the greatest day, if I'm being completely honest. Last night, midnight or something like that, it was relatively late. I made this tweet, and I'll post it on the screen somewhere, but I made this tweet where I mentioned how this artist, Charlie Bowater, I think that's how you say their last name, they are really popular artists, particularly like in the YA community. I really like their art, and I think their art is really gorgeous and everything like that. But I personally was noticing how it seems like a lot of the art that they make, the faces of the characters, they all look really similar. And earlier in that day, I had seen this post that someone made where they were like, you know, these 2 characters would be like girlfriends or something. And to me, the 2 characters looked exactly the same. And I was like, they look like the same person. Like, you know, I had no idea that it was 2 different characters from 2 different series. No clue. So that's what spawned my tweet. I was like, you know, I think that these characters look so much alike. And I was thinking to myself, like, is this just the art style of Charlie Bowater? But then I was thinking, you know, I think it's more indicative of what the publishing industry is publishing, the kind of characters that the publishing industry, you know, caters toward, which I think are thin white people with high cheekbones and sharp jawlines, and that's just kind of like the typical look. And I think that, you know, she just gets commissioned to make art that looks like those characters, and that is what it is. So I made this tweet thinking nothing of it, and I posted it, and I didn't include her full name in the tweet because, one, I didn't know her last name, like I didn't know how to spell it, so I didn't want to butcher it. And also, I just was like, you know, it doesn't matter because I don't want her name to be searchable either, fans, or that her will find it and feel like offended by it, because it was not my intention to make anybody upset. It just was an observation. And then somebody tagged her, and then she made this whole tweet about it's easy to criticize on Twitter, but I've been working for all these years, or something like that. Some tweet about how I'm criticizing her, and like, if she feels upset, she feels criticized, that is what it is. I'm not gonna say her feelings are not valid on that, but mostly I was criticizing the publishing industry because I think that it's a valid point that a lot of characters in YA do fit a very similar description, and as a result her art may reflect those similarities. That was my take, and she retweeted it. She has like 40,000 followers, so all of her fans are in my mentions talking about how I'm a terrible person because I'm critiquing her and I'm so mean, and who am I because you're not an artist and you don't know anything about this and that. Like, listen, can I not have an opinion? Why would somebody bring my opinion to her that was not even directed towards her, for it to become this whole big deal for people to come and harass me about having a random opinion that's not even attempting to be like horribly mean or rude to her, because I think that her art is really nice. So the whole situation is just dumb and absurd. So today just like bad because my mentions on Twitter are garbage. Just not good on social media. I'm so sick and tired of all of the social media bullshit. It's very stupid. But anyway, back to the reading vlog stuff. I'm holding these two books. I don't know which book I want to read next, so I think I'm going to try and read like the first chapter of this and also the first chapter of Jade War by Fonda Lee and see which one I connect more with, and then I'll just like continue on with whichever one. You know what, let's take a quick minute to just look at my skin. Really feeling blessed, mashallah, because my skin is just looking gorgeous. Okay, anyway, I just finished reading the first chapter of the Jade War and the first chapter of Docile. So first up, Jade War by Fonda Lee. There's gonna be some spoilers for Jade City in this video, so skip over some stuff whenever you see me holding up this book. So basically, in the first book in this series, there is a clan war between these two groups, the Mountain Clan and the No Peak Clan, and they are fighting over the country of Keikon's like jade supply, because in this world jade is used to like physically enhance people, and they're stronger and faster, and that their senses are heightened by the use of this jade, but only certain families have the power to wield the jade. It's a whole thing. There's this whole intense plot thing going on. So in the first book, my favorite character dies. He's one of the main characters. He is the head of the No Peak Clan. His name is Lan, and I love him so much. He was amazing, and they killed him. He died. And in the beginning of this, in the first chapter, we see these people attempting to rob his grave, and I'm very upset. Like, for a second I thought that maybe he wasn't really dead, and like perhaps this was going to be like them showing that there's nobody in his grave, and so like maybe he's still alive somewhere, but it's looking like my dude is really dead. So I don't like that, but we'll see. And then with this is like set in a dystopian future that is all about like debt, and these characters, this main character Elisha, his family is in like this huge amount of debt, so he's going to sell himself as like a slave so that these rich people can buy his debt. And I don't know, the first chapter was kind of weird, and it didn't really reveal anything all that interesting. So, I don't know, I feel like I might continue on with Jade War right now. Alright guys, so this is going to be the last update for this week's vlog. It's Saturday. There was no update on Friday. Sorry about that. So the first thing that I want to say is a huge thank you to everybody who showed me a lot of support and stuff on Twitter. You guys are amazing and I appreciate you all a whole lot. It meant a lot to me that some people did understand my point because I didn't think that my random throwaway tweet was going to get any kind of attention and all of this like really negative backlash. I didn't intend to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that, so I'm really glad that like some people did understand where I was coming from and what I was talking about. That was great, and all the support that people showed me, I have a lot of appreciation and love for all of you, so thank you so much. I also need to tell you guys about all this stuff that I read since that last clip. So in that clip, I was reading the Jade War and Docile, and I kind of just decided that I wasn't in the right headspace to read either of those because I was feeling really kind of upset and frazzled and anxious, so I ended up reading a bunch of romance stuff. So the first thing that I read was To Tame a Wicked Widow by Nicola Davidson, which is in that same Surrey Sexual Freedom Society historical romance series that I was reading. And this is about this girl. She's a widow. This guy, he's a viscount, and he comes to like settle the estate of her deceased husband. They hit it off, get it on and popping, and their relationship was really sexy. I was 100% here for it, and I thought their banter and everything like that was excellent, so I really enjoyed that book. I gave it 4 stars. I would have gave it 5 stars, but I feel like the conflict in it was really contrived. I was upset. I felt like it was kind of dumb to incorporate something like that in such a short story. So anyway, yeah, 4 stars. And after that, I read the last book in that series, which is called At His Lady's Command, which is about this woman named Portia and this guy named Randall. And Randall is her bodyguard, and Portia is like, you know, this society woman who has a lot of money. She does a lot of like good charity works and stuff like that, and he just kind of supports her during her various endeavors. And he's been working for her for about 2 years, and they've both been pining for each other for a while. And in this book, they finally like get together. Now, I give this book 3 stars. This was my least favorite out of the entire series. I just feel like they really built up Portia's character in all of the previous installments, and they talked about her like she was just this force to be reckoned with, and I personally just felt like in some ways her character let me down. Like, she was cool and all, but she just wasn't as cool as I thought she was going to be, so I was a little bit disappointed by that. I mean, it was still an enjoyable read. It was fun, it was sexy, you know, wish fulfillment, nice ending, but I just wasn't like obsessed with it the way I was obsessed with the other couples and all that. And then I read Bewilder by Bryce Oakley. This is a sapphic contemporary romance about these 2 women. One of them is a musician in an all-lady queer band, and the other one is a home organizer. And this musician named Domino, she is a mess, and her family knows that she's a mess. You know, mentally, emotionally, she hasn't been able to write any of the songs for their band, and she's like their songwriter, so their career's on hold because of her. So they decide that they're going to hire this home organizer, and hopefully that will get her on the right track to, you know, getting her life together. And it's about her and the home organizer getting together, and how the home organizer is like KonMariing her life. And I thought that they were really cute, and I really liked this book. I especially loved the one character, the home organizer, Sabrina. She was amazing. She was so sweet and adorable, and I loved her. So 4 stars for that book. And then the last book that I read this week was Mine by Kim Hartfield. This is another sapphic contemporary novel, and it's about this girl named Cherry. She goes to live on a farm. She's trying to like find herself and have this whole live off the land moment, and she goes to live on this farm and to help volunteer with this lady named Margot. Margot is a lesbian. When Cherry finds this out, Cherry is like incredibly intrigued by her, and it's a relationship between Margot and Cherry, and they also have like a dom-sub relationship, so they're exploring domination and submission. Cherry is having all these realizations about herself in terms of the fact that she likes girls, in terms of the fact that she wants to be vegan now, that she really likes working on a farm and all this kind of stuff. So it's really a journey of like self-discovery for Cherry, but also this relationship between her and Margot, which I thought was cute. There were a lot of cute moments. I really liked Cherry's self-discovery and stuff, but I wasn't super invested in their relationship and everything, if that made sense. Like, it was enjoyable. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, but it wasn't like you know, it wasn't everything to me, if that makes sense. I didn't adore it, but it was good. So yeah, that's all the stuff that I read this week. I read a lot of stuff. I think I read about 7 books this week. Yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate you all. Love you all. I will see you all in my next video. Thank you to my 2,781 subscribers. Yeah, so that's cool. Always nice to see people joining the fam. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.